For the past 3 years I have been between two environments, an environment of middle class and environment where rich were taking advantage from middle class. Now one of the key skills I have learned is how to spot signs that contribute to financial success. So in this video I want to share with you the 4 things that tend to dictate whether or not you are doing well financially. Our number 1 will be: are you playing the right game? So you have to know there are 2 games you can play to measure your financial success. And one of the main reasons why people feel like they are falling behind financially is because they are playing the wrong game. In this case, they are playing the status game, where we are trying to one-up each other. The biggest problem is that if you want to win a status game, you have to put somebody else down. And this is why you have to avoid playing status game, because it makes you a very competitive and angry person, which in this case means that you will be often going over dead bodies to the goal. The status game is an external ranking to everyone else. The size of your home, the brand of your shoes, and everything else you can see and compare yourself on social media. For example, let's say I bought a Ferrari. That will only improve my status, of course if you don't have one. If everybody else have one, it doesn't help me climb up the ladder. So as you can see, I am using other people as a reference to where I am in the ladder. Now the issue is that when you start playing this game and you are comparing internally with everyone else's projections, you are constantly going to feel on edge because someone else has to lose for someone to be able to win. And there is also a great quote from book The Millionaire Next Door, which says, "Wealth is not the same as income. If you make a good income each year and spend it all, you are not getting wealthier. You are just living higher." And this leads me to the second game you can play, which is wealth game. And this game is not about what everyone else can see, but instead it's about what everyone else can see. It's the money in the bank that is being invested into assets, it's the business that you are trying to build on a side, it's the money you are spending on a self-development, it's all the things that have positive ROI, and that can ultimately buy you freedom and buy you the power to live life on your own terms. The key here is to make sure that your evaluation of financial freedom isn't based on a status game. Once you wrap your head around this, you will realize that you are doing far better financially than you think. Because the status game is like movie trailer. It shows you only the best bits and leave the rest out. And this leads me to the next point, which is how much you should be earning. First way to know where you stand financially is by looking at the average wages for your country. Now the truth is the numbers actually make very little difference to how we see ourselves. Because firstly it's our own friends and peers that have bigger influence on our self-evaluation rather than society as a whole. And secondly, no matter how much we earn, it's psychologically easier to feel bad about that number than it is to feel good about it. There is a concept called loss aversion, which is that the pain of losing is psychologically twice as powerful as pleasure of gaining. For example, if we find $100 on the ground, we would feel great, but if we lost the same $100, our pain would be far bigger than the initial joy that we found the same thing. Now the same concept can be applied to our earnings. If you find out you earn more money than your friends or your colleagues, you might feel more content with your earnings, but that feeling would be fade out pretty quickly. On the other hand, if you would found out you are earning less money than them, that would have a way bigger impact on your happiness level, and you would feel a lot less satisfied with how much you are making. We can be outperforming 100 people around us, but if there is only one person who is appearing to be better than us, it can make us question our own success. And the worst part is, without knowing this, psychologically it will keep us in a never-ending cycle of discontent. And as we rise through the ranks and make more money, so does our peers and benchmark we compare ourselves to. So how you can escape this? I will go into the actionable steps that you can take, but firstly I need to share with you rule number 3, which is getting 3 fundamental rights. The first of the 3 fundamentals is to be fully aware of your relationship with money. This means knowing your financial health, your income and your expenses, and then finding ways to live below your means. And as I said in my latest video about making your first 100,000, living below your means doesn't necessarily mean living like a broke student for your entire life. It's just being smart about how you spend your money. And if you didn't see this video, I highly recommend you to watch it if you seriously think about creating wealth in your future. You can watch it by clicking this link, or you can do this after this video. So now the thing you need to know is that you need to increase your income and reduce your expenses so that you have enough money left over to save and then invest it in some kind of asset. one way to do this is through using tracker that will show you where you stand financially. Now second fundament is having an emergency fund. This is a specific amount of saving you would have access to in the case of emergency, and having this one thing alone sets you way ahead from a lot of people. For example, only 39% of Americans could cover a $1,000 unexpected expense. If you have healthy emergency fund tucked away, even just 1 month of living expenses to start with, you are doing a lot better than most of people. And the final from these 3 fundamentals is to have manageable debt. It isn't just about using debt to buy things you don't need. It also means not finding yourself in a position where debt is only way to pay your bills on time. Now to show you some numbers. The average American has almost $33,000 in debt, not including their mortgage. So this just goes to show, if you are able to save a portion of your income, have an emergency fund, and you are able to pay your bills on time without going into debt, you are way ahead from most people. But after knowing this, how it makes you feel? Any better? Probably no, and there is where rule number 4 comes in. And it is to use a lens of an individual rather than society. There is a quote that says, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Now our perception of how well we are doing is massively driven by society's expectations. Now society appeals lavish lifestyle, external ranking, monetary achievements, but if we rewire our thoughts, look at our success through the eyes of us as an individual, as opposed to through the eyes of society, we can see ourselves from a completely different lens. And when you do this, it sets you free from comparisons and it gets you free from expectations. It gives you the freedom from not having to play a game where other people are setting the rules. Now you need to think, how would you answer this question? Would you rather be the world's greatest lover but have everyone think that you are the world's worst lover? Or would you rather be the world's worst lover but have everyone else think that you are the world's greatest? So these are the 4 fundamentals that tend to dictate whether or not we are doing financially. Thank you for watching. Feel free to let me know in the comments how you are doing financially, and if you like this video, hit a like and subscribe for more videos like this. Also make sure that you know how to save your first 100,000, and if you don't know how to do this, make sure to watch my latest video just about this. Now it will be all from me, see you next week.